if the scoreline reflected Arsenal's superiority at Stamford Bridge, the score finishes Arsenal 5, Chelsea 0. That is how bad it was. That is how drastic the difference in terms of quality between the two teams are. I cannot be bothered to try and sugarcoat that. I cannot be bothered to try and pretend that there is anything to be positive about. We were outfought. We were outplayed. We were outmuscled. We were outfought. And I am just gutted. Outscored at Stamford Bridge by Arsenal. And yet, somehow, we're meant to be positive. Somehow, I'm hearing commentators say this is actually a good result for Chelsea. I mean, on some level, you can pretend that it was a good level for Chelsea, a good result for Chelsea. On some level, you can pretend that we got what we wanted out of the game, considering how badly it could have gone. But ultimately, we were beaten at home by one of our biggest rivals. We were outplayed by one of our biggest rivals. One of our biggest rivals came to Stamford Bridge, won the game, and they have one foot in the final. Let's be totally honest. In fact, let's just be totally honest. We know that Arsenal are going to the final, don't we? We know that we're out. We're not going to go and overturn a result like that at the Emirates. Before the game was played, I said Arsenal were going to win home and away, and Arsenal are already winning away. They're already doing the hardest part. And the sad thing is, over the years, you would say that Chelsea Football Club are a team that are so resilient. We're a team that are capable of anything. And you would also say that Arsenal are a team capable of crumbling. And yet, going into this second leg, we know that that isn't the case. That we know that we aren't resilient enough. We don't have enough about us. We don't have enough fight, enough determination, enough desperation to make that final. And we know that this Arsenal team are a serious side. Do you agree with me? I reckon everyone does. If you think Arsenal are already in the final, like this video. It's the only way I can monitor it. Do you think Arsenal are already there? If you do, just like this video. Because I tell you what, if I were an Arsenal fan, in fact, let's pretend that Chelsea had gone to the Emirates, put in a performance like that, and won the game 3-2. Do you know what this video would be? Do you know what I would be saying? I would be opening the video and I'd be going, that was a delectable medley of footballing splendour. At the end of the video, do you know what I'd be doing? I'd be singing Que Sera Sera. I'd be lighting up a Monte Cristo. I'd be having a drop of Glenn Morangi. And I would ultimately be over the moon. Arsenal fans should be dusting off their yellow ribbon. I don't know if that only happens. I know they're meant to do that in the merry month of May. But I don't know if that only happens if you're going to Wembley in May. But if you do it when you go to Wembley in February as well, you should get your yellow ribbons ready, because there is absolutely no doubt in my mind that Arsenal are going to the semi-final. And look, we can pretend. We can talk about that modicum of fight that Chelsea displayed and the 2 quick goals that we got back. We can talk about the fact that there is only 1 goal in it, and we can go to the Emirates and we can take the game to them. We can invoke the spirit of Didier Drogba and how we have risen from the ashes before and stolen victory from the jaws of defeat before. Or we can just be totally honest. And we can acknowledge that Arsenal were a serious football club, led by a serious manager with serious football players, and Chelsea, under this ownership, are a complete joke. We can be totally honest about that, can't we? You know, yeah, we did all right. We created a bit of fight, but ultimately it's the hope that kills you. And I think that we, on this YouTube channel, can be smart enough to look beyond the score. Arsenal came to Stamford Bridge and they educated us. And how we've ended up coming out of that game only a goal down, it's mental. Like, we were dreadful. We were outplayed, we were outthought by Mikel Arteta, and we were outfought on the pitch. And then we did that weird fake fight thing. Like, I was really mocking Paulinho for doing it at Tottenham. You know, when he kind of had a pop at Ollie Watkins and Morgan Rogers, and you're like, mate, where were you for 90 minutes? We did that at the end. We started having a fight, like Enzo Fernandez really giving it the big one. Our disciplinary record is atrocious. Our disciplinary record is causing us so much ag. And that shows no sense of changing, even with a new manager. Yeah, you look at the team that we put out. I don't know if I'm just being a conspiracy theorist here, but I strongly believe that Rosinha would have wanted to play Palmer, James, Caicedo. Like, I don't know if this is now back to the medical team banning certain players or what, but I don't know what's gone on there. Liam Delap said he was ill. He's ill. He's a bit ill, a bit under the weather. Don't fancy it. It's like absolutely, not Caicedo. I don't know why I said Caicedo there. Obviously, he was suspended. But the rest, you just got to go, what on earth are you doing? Obviously, you want to play them. And I know that Enzo Maresca said that there was sometimes interference, and I start thinking of that. Liam Delap being ill, baffles me. I felt like our tactics were all over the place, like constantly knocking the ball about at the back when you do not have the personnel on the pitch. When Benoit Badiashile is on the pitch, you go long. When Benoit Badiashile has the ball at his feet, danger is ahead. When Tosin Adarabioyo is on the pitch, you go long. Like, look, don't get me wrong. I'm happy that the tie's alive. Like, we were losing by 2 goals twice. But let's not pretend that we deserve to be in this position. Let's not pretend that we really have any chance of getting out of this. They were just so much better than us. You know, the way that they were knocking it about, the way that they were dictating the tempo, it's what we used to do at the Emirates. It's what we used to do at Highbury on occasion. You go there and you totally set the tempo that the game's played at. You go there. I remember when we were knocked out of Europe and they were knocked out of Europe. It must have been 2009 when we got done by Barcelona. I think they got done maybe by Man United. And we battered them full. But it was us setting the tone, us setting the agenda, us setting the standard. When we went there in the League Cup, Cesar Azpilicueta scored, sort of ran the length of the pitch. We had 9,000 rather than them having 6,000. We dictate the tempo. We're just a million miles away from that now. And Arsenal have come to Stamford Bridge to educate us about how to play football. And we were frail. Like, that constantly trying to play out from goal kicks. Like, we haven't got the players to do it. And I tell you what, Arsenal's press, it's suffocating. It's a superb press. The way that they put you in a perilous position because they're so on the front foot, they're so aggressive, they hunt in pockets, they hunt in pairs, they seem to sort of double up on the right players, and it's all from Mikel Arteta's vision. The way that they kind of let you have the ball, Benoit Badiashile, he's got the ball, everything's fine, suddenly it's not fine. Suddenly he's hounded. And you just think, this is brilliant from them. It's so annoying, but this is brilliant. And at no point in the game did I ever really think that we were going to win it. At no point in the game did I ever think that we were the better team. It felt like just sort of a plucky underdog in the cup. It felt like, I don't know, you know when we were 2-0 up against Bradford in the cup and then they ended up knocking us out, John Stead and that. Felt a bit like that. They were better. They were so much better. They were going on to better things. And yet we then Garnacho scores out of nothing. Great. But it just felt so predictable, so bad. And so much of it is avoidable. So much of this all falls at these owners and these sporting directors. So much of it. Like in the summer, anyone that had ever watched Chelsea play football last year knew that Robert Sanchez wasn't the man for the job. And this year, I've had people trying to convince me that he's been very good this year. He's the guy. He's really improved. He's one of the most improved goalkeepers in the Premier League. He's never let us down this year. And you're like, I know. And that was true. He has done well. He has redefined himself. He has had a good season. But when you are a goalkeeper who has a calamity in him, you always have a calamity. And pretending that you don't, all you're really doing is delaying the inevitable. Robert Sanchez was always going to cost Chelsea this season. Whether it happened at the beginning of the season, whether it happened midway through the season, whether it happened both, whether it happened loads, at some point it's going to cost us. And basically giving those 2 goals away, he was culpable, wasn't he? For both of Arsenal's first 2 goals. Like flapping. Like when Ben White is coming in on it like that, he has to make it his. Instead of that, he's flapping about, fumbling about. And ultimately for Gyökeres. Yeah, it's just so painful. And I tell you what, you can't be a top team and have a player like Robert Sanchez in your side. Equally, you can't be a top team and rely on, 3 players? Like, that isn't what a top team is about. A top team is about squad. And we know this. When we were Chelsea, in the true definition of the term, we knew this. We understood the power of the squad. We knew the value of having players like Jeremy around. Utility players that could play a semi-final but play to a really brilliant level. We knew how important that was. And instead of that now, the second that Cole Palmer's not in the side or Reece James isn't in the side, we know it's curtains for us. And we've spent £1 billion. For what? For a team of children. Arsenal have done what? They've spent £1 billion. And they have spent it on becoming a serious football club. It's the kindest thing that you can say about them. They're serious. They're real. They mean it. They're proper. Whether it goes their way or it doesn't, they deserve respect. And they are a force for anyone. We're a punchline, man. We're a joke. Like, Arsenal have the best squad in the country. They arguably have the best first team in the country. They arguably have the best first team in Europe. and it's cost them £1 billion. We have spent that amount of money. And you look, it's there for everyone to see today. You look at the squad that came in. There was rotation. Kepa Arrizabalaga didn't have a bad game. Ben White, like a goal and an assist. Barely plays. He'd be Chelsea's best defender. He played centre-half for us. He would be the starting centre-half for us. He doesn't even get in their side as right-back. It's so bad. You look at Eberechi Eze. Eberechi Eze's only appearance in the last 7 games for Arsenal, by the way, has come against Portsmouth. Walks into our team. He immediately comes into our best team, into our first team, as probably our best attacker. He's better than Pedro Neto, isn't he? He's better than anyone apart from Cole Palmer. But there is no way that he doesn't get in our side. I think you jig the team around it. There is no way that he doesn't start. Just doesn't get in their team. He scores a hat-trick against Tottenham in a North London derby. Odegaard comes back and he has to wait his time. Yeah, they've spent the $1 billion, but they are reaping the rewards for it. We have wasted $1 billion. And quite frankly, we can't compete. It was there for all to see the chasm between Chelsea and Arsenal today. Like, there was a time when it was us doing it to them. There was a time when it was Jose Mourinho beating Arsenal 6-0 on their special day, on Wenger's 1000th game. Then you've got many, many moments. Didier Drogba's header, Didier Drogba in Cardiff, Didier Drogba at Wembley. You think about Coquelin getting launched by Hazard. You think about Cesc Fabregas looping the ball. This is the most symbolic one, actually, isn't it? Cesc Fabregas in Chelsea's midfield. Petr Cech in Arsenal's goal. No longer will we take in wonderful footballers like David Rocastle from them, but past their prime. No longer were we taking players that they deem not good enough. We were giving them our players that we deem not good enough. We were giving them Cech. We took Fabregas. Fabregas launches the ball over Petr Cech, lobs him. We were educating them. It just feels like a million miles away. And I think people are going to call me defeatist. I imagine Chelsea fans watching this video are going to really have the hump. But if you are pretending that losing 3-2 to Arsenal at home is a good result, then I guess the PR machine around this sporting directors and ownership really are doing their job well. I'm glad. You lose to Arsenal at home, man. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below.